You are listening to Radio Long Island City, recorded at our studios near Hell Gate, 9 kilometers north of the Harbor Hill Moraine. And now, the Observatory. The Observatory, Friday the 8th of May, 2026. It is 49 days after the spring equinox. It is 44 days before the summer solstice. In today's episode, warblers on the move, the hard hat riot, smallpox, a teenager who loved trains, David Attenborough, and the Red Cross. The sun rises today at 5:46 a.m. Solar noon takes place today at 12:52 p.m. The sun sets today at 7:59 p.m., civil twilight ends at 8:30 p.m., and nautical twilight ends at 9:07 p.m. The length of daytime today is 2 minutes 9 seconds longer than yesterday. The moon is in its waning gibbous phase and is 62% full at midday. The moon rises today at 1:27 a.m., and then it sets at 10:55 a.m. These are the predicted tides today for Horn's Hook. In the wee hours, high tide, 3:18 a.m., 1 meter 40. In the morning, high tide, 9:39 a.m., 12 centimeters. In the afternoon, high tide, 3:54 p.m., 1 meter 28. At night, low tide, 9:58 p.m., 34 centimeters. In our shared realm of plants and animals, with the full bird migration well underway by now, new types of birds are beginning to pass through. This time of May, Cornell Labs Birdcast lists many species of warblers whose migration is hitting its peak. Black-throated blue, black-throated green, magnolia, prairie, and chestnut-sided warblers are all coming through. In our neighborhood, we just don't have that many secluded areas of greenery where these visitors congregate and can be seen. You have to go to the Ramble in Central Park, or Forest Park to our east, which causes us to ponder what spaces in the neighborhood, however small, could be replanted or reforested to restore the balance of nature. Commemorations. On this day in 1970, the Hard Hat Riot took place in Lower Manhattan. The Vietnam War was still in full swing, and students had been protesting against the Kent State shootings that had happened several days before. On this day, about 400 construction workers and 800 office workers attacked student protesters near Wall Street. The Hard Hats carried American flags and chanted USA all the way and America, love it or leave it. The situation rapidly escalated until more than 20,000 people were fighting in the streets around City Hall. It took 3 hours before the streets were cleared. Afterwards, President Nixon invited the hard hat leaders to the White House, and they presented him with a hard hat. The social tensions and the elements of class conflict that erupted that day have eerie echoes of our own time. On this day in 1980, the World Health Organization confirmed that smallpox had been eradicated worldwide. It is the only human disease we have managed to eliminate, and it is a monument to the powers of vaccines and the importance of international cooperation in matters of health. Delightful mischief. On this day in 1993, the teenager Kieran Thomas took the controls of an A train and successfully drove it, full of passengers, through 3 boroughs. Thomas had long been fascinated by the subway and had studied the workings of the trains in exquisite detail. On this day, he called the Inwood terminus to see if an overtime driver was needed. He wore an operator's shirt and safety vest and carried with him the regulation brake handle and reverser key that he had acquired. Presenting a fake ID, he got through and took the helm of an A bound for the Rockaways. He was finally caught 3 hours later when he went slightly over the speed limit and tripped a warning signal. He was arrested, of course, but charges were later dropped, and no one had been injured on his escapade. He later became an electrician. Sadly, he died of heart failure at the age of 37. But we appreciate what Kieran Thomas did that day, even though we do not encourage it. Today, we wish a happy birthday to David Attenborough, born this day in 1926. His television nature documentaries for the BBC have inspired millions. We especially enjoyed the series on wildlife during the pandemic, when human activity ground to a halt around the globe and animals enjoyed a newfound freedom. Happy 100th birthday, David Attenborough. Finally, today is World Red Cross and Red Crescent Day. This year's theme is United in Humanity. And so we honor all the staff and volunteers who show up to help in natural disasters and times of war. This year's observance is all the more important, as in our current time of war, medical professionals and aid workers have been purposely targeted and killed, which is not only a severe breach of the Geneva Conventions, but an affront to basic human decency. And that is the Observatory, Friday the 8th of May, 2026.